Hello friends, welcome to Risingpearl.com. You know that we are talking about series 2 where we are learning a lot about triangles. Today is episode number 8. Friends, today we are going to focus on really solving some problems or questions based on the basic proportionality theorem which we learned on webisode number 5 and the last two theorems which I said were very important, right? So today really the focus is solving some actual questions that you will be seeing in your tests based on these three topics. So let's quickly talk about what are these three important things. One is the basic proportionality theorem, also known as Thales theorem. This is one we learned in great detail in webisode number 5. Then we talked about in webisode 6 this very important theorem that states that in a triangle, if a line is drawn parallel to one of the sides, then that line divides the other two sides in the same ratio. We talked about this, we looked into this in great detail in webisode number 6. And then finally, the last of the three was in a triangle. If a line divides any two sides in the same ratio, then that line is parallel to the third side. As you can see, this and this are basically converse of one another. So friends, what we are going to do is we are going to focus in this webisode on looking at some real questions that you will be seeing in your test based on these three particular topics. So the first question that we are going to try and figure out how do we solve would be this. So we are given triangle PQR. PQR is a triangle as shown in the figure. So they have the question actually has the figure drawn for us, PQR, and also it is given that XY is parallel to QR. So XY, this line, is parallel to QR. This is also given to us. And also these measurements are given. PX equals 3 centimeter, XQ or QX is 6 centimeter, PY is 2 centimeter, RY is not given. So we need to find out RY and we need to find out PR. So friends, this is the first type of questions that you will get. So if you recall the second theorem that we talked about, so we have a triangle PQR and XY is parallel to QR. It means we know that then PX divided by QX, let's write it. It means that PX divided by QX must be equal to PY divided by RY. So why this is the case? It is because in triangle PQR, XY line is parallel to QR. So we know that by theorem that X and Y will divide the side PQ and PR respectively in same ratio. So these two ratios should be similar, should be equal. That is what is coming from the theorem. Now let's simply just put the values in what is given to us. PX, let's just write the values. PX is 3, QX or XQ is 6 equal to PY is 2 and RY we don't know. So friends, essentially in this kind of a question you have total there are 4 measures, right? PX, XQ, PY and YR. So 3 are given, we have to find out the 4th one. So this is the one which we don't have. So we are trying to figure out what is the value for this. So RY, now simply here if you just solve this, right, we want to take RY over here, or essentially you can write this as 1 by 2 equal to 2 by RY, and this implies that from here we can take RY over here, right, and then it will go there. So RY will be equal to, so RY comes over here and this goes over there. So will be 2 times 2, which will be equal to 4, and the units are all centimeters, so this will be 4 centimeter. So RY, this length will be 4 centimeter. So we found RY. Next is PR. Now what is PR? So PR is nothing but PY py plus yr. So py is given as 2 centimeter plus ry or yr we have just found to be 4 centimeters. So this length together is 6 centimeter. So friends, this is the first type of questions, very simple question. Like I said, where out of the 4 measures, so 1, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of the 4 measures or lengths, 3 are given. We need to find out the 4th one. And also I wanted to highlight that here, this one, PR, is just an extra information that the question is asking you. So you want to make sure that you are paying attention to the question. So here PR is nothing but PR, which is basically sum of PY and RY. So PR is equal to 6 centimeter. So we found out both the measures in this question. Now let's talk about the second type of questions that we may get. So here, this is our question number 2. In this question, question number 2, X and Y are points on sides PQ and PR respectively of a triangle PQR. For the following scenarios, please state whether XY is parallel to QR. We have to find out, please state whether this is true or false. And so basically there are 2 questions. There is this question, question 1 and question 2. We will take a look at it one by one, but I want to give you I want to state few facts right away. First of all, in this particular question, there is no figure which is given to us. Unlike question 1, where the diagram was given, here the diagram is not given. So whenever you don't have a diagram, you just draw the triangle the way you prefer. So in this case, we are going to draw a triangle like this. We just drew a triangle PQR, right? Next, what do we need to do? We are given that X and Y are 2 points on PQ and PR, right? So now we will simply assume X a point on PQ and Y is a point on PR. So friends, I want to make a couple of important observations here. One is that even though all of these measurements are given, PX, QX, PY, RY, if you look at the first question, I have randomly picked a point on PQ and I have called it X. Similarly, I have randomly picked a point on PR and named it Y, right? So the point that I want to highlight is that this shape PQR, this triangle, and P and the PX and PY, these dimensions are absolutely not drawn to scale. Remember that this is not a geometry construction question. This is not a geometry construction question. So we don't want to waste any time actually trying to take a ruler and try to measure every single length and then figure out how to exactly draw the triangle. So you will draw the triangle the way you prefer, and as a matter of fact, I normally prefer, if it is not given to me that XY is parallel to QR, I actually prefer to draw it something like this, where you can clearly see visually that these 2 lines don't look parallel. Now, as we process the question and go through it, we may actually find out that this line XY may actually be parallel to QR, and that's okay, right? Because this is not a construction question, we are not looking to draw according to the scale. Alright, now let's just continue with our question. Now, so what do we have here? Now let's just put the values in here. So PX is 2.5, this is given 2.5, and QX is 3. QX is 3. I'm not writing the centimeter, just writing the measure. All the units are same. PY is 5. PY is 5. And RY is 6. As a matter of fact, you will notice that clearly this measure QX is 3 centimeter. It looks longer than YR, which is supposed to be 6 centimeter. So we have YR that clearly looks smaller, but it is actually 6 centimeter, and QX, which looks longer, is actually 3 centimeter. So anyway, let's continue to focus on the question at hand. So now what we do, friends, is that we have to figure out if this line is parallel to this. So how do we know? You remember the converse of our second theorem, or basically the third theorem, which states that if you look at the ratio of these two sides, that is px divided by qx, if I have px divided by qx, if I find this ratio, and also if I find the ratio of py divided by ry. Now, if these two ratios are equal, if they are equal, that will imply that xy will be parallel to qr. Now, if this is not equal, then they will be not parallel. So this is a theorem that we have learned in great amount of details, webisode 6 and webisode 7, right? So all we have to do now is find out these ratios, because all the four sides are given. So let's do this. So px by qx, let's first find out this value. So px, let's write it down here, px by qx is equal to, what do we have here, 2.5 divided by 3. Okay, now, and then similarly we have to find out this value, right? So this will be py divided by ry, and we have 5 by 6. Okay, so we actually need to do this division. So let's just go ahead and do the division here. So if you were to divide this, so this is basically nothing but, so for the, okay, so let's do this division. So I have here 2.5. I hope that we have enough space to do this division. So let's see, we will have 3. So first of all, we have to put a decimal here, right? Because this, it's 2.5, it is less than 3. So decimal, and then I think it is 8. So 8 3s are 24. We will have 24. So you will have 1, because I have the decimal, so I'll have 0. And then I will have 3 3s are 9. This is 9, and then 1 0. So looks like I will basically get something like 3 3 3 like this for this ratio over here. What about this? Let's do this division as well. Now if you do this division, let's see again, I think we hope enough space is there. 6 is greater than 5, so we have to put the decimal straight away. So 0. Now 6 8s 48, 22, 0. So then 6 3s are 18, 2 0. So looks like this is going to continue like the way 3 3 3. This is going to continue 3 3 3. So what we are seeing is indeed this value here, which is this one, is 0.83 bar, which is like the 3 is repeating, and this one is also equal to 0.83 bar, that is 0.833333. So indeed what we are seeing for this particular question, question 1, is that this ratio px by qx is actually equal to py by ry. So because this is true, this is indeed correct, we can say that yes, these two lines, that is xy and qr, are indeed parallel for our question number 1. Now let's take a look at, let's clean this up a little bit and let's take a look at question number 2. So what do we have here? Again, friends, remember that we are drawing the triangle the way we like, and we have taken the points the way we like, right? So here what is given is px is 3.9, and here we have some decimal going on here. So 3.9, qx is 3, qx is 3. Again, friends, remember we are not drawing this to scale because we do not want to waste any time. Yes, px looks like smaller, and QX looks like longer, even though PX is 3.9 and QX is 3, and that is just fine. Remember, the question really is focused on if this is parallel, that is if XY is parallel. So answer is yes, it is parallel, or no, it is not parallel. We are not trying to draw accurately to scale our shape here, or our figure here. Now PY is 3.6 and RY is 4. So now let's take a look at, so we again want to find out the 4 ratios. We are going to first find out PX divided by QX. Let's find this ratio. We have 3.9 divided by 3. So basically if you do this, you will get 1.3, because 3 13s are 39 and you have the point. So this ratio gives you 1.3. Now similarly we want to get the ratio on the other side, on the PR. We have PY divided by RY. So this will be 3.6 divided by 4, and 4 9s are 36, so you will have 0.9. So in this case, friends, what we see, these two ratios are not equal. That is, we have PX divided by QX is not equal to PY divided by RY. Because these two ratios are not equal, it implies that XY is not parallel to QR. So friends, this is the first and the most simple type of questions on basic proportionality theorem and the other two theorems that we talked about, where it's really a play on the different measurements. Remember, we talked about there are 4 measures, because we are talking about a triangle and the line inside the triangle cuts the other 2 sides in certain ratio. So we are talking about 4 measures. So in the first question, 3 were given, we had to find out the 4th value. In the second question, that is here, both for case 1 and case 2, the 2 scenarios, we were given all of the 4 measures, and we had to find out if the line itself is parallel to the third side. Friends, in the next video we are going to take a look at more questions based on these 3 theorems.